Nonverbal communication is everything, right? Well, we need to stop obsessing over nonverbal communication because nonverbal communication is a distraction. It's not the message. More isn't better. More gestures, more smiles, more postures won't save an empty speech. Look around. Books, status, paintings, even trees, they communicate without any performance. So the real transmission happens through words because words sharpen consciousness. Ideas are born in words, and the more words you master, the more ideas you can create. Nonverbal communication, it's just playing the game of what's acceptable. It is political correctness wrapped in body language. It is a mask to fit the mold, not a tool to create impact. It's becoming what others want to see, not becoming who you really are. Performance is different. Performance is real. It demands style, but style needs disposition, and disposition needs invention. Without invention, without depth, nonverbal communication is just a shiny pile of crap. You don't communicate just to throw words around. You communicate to pass something alive, a clear, vibrant internal fire from your mind and your heart to theirs. The superficial world underestimates this. They sell you techniques, move your hands like this, sing your tone like that, and promise you you will win. As if flipping a switch could build a lighthouse. We don't suffer from a lack of hand gestures. We suffer from a lack of clarity, argumentation, creativity, and deep inspiration. You can move your hands all day. If your message is hollow, nobody cares. No nonverbal trick can cover up a weak message. No pose can replace the power of orchestrated arguments, nuance, and emotional precision. Nonverbal communication is the last mile of a marathon. Problem is that most people haven't even started running. Stop blending in and stop mimicking and start building the message you want to vibrate with. Because nonverbal communication is nothing without it. Because when we start treating verbal and nonverbal as opposites, we create an artificial separation that distorts the nature of communication itself. We end up inflating the role of nonverbal communication to a point where the essential, the construction of the message is neglected. The performance without the message becomes nothing more than a mechanical execution, detached from invention, disposition, and style. That's why I insist. Nonverbal communication is only one layer, and it should never distract from the foundation. The message. The message, with its facts, its emotions, its values, is primary, and performance comes after. It is there to serve the message, not to replace it. The modern trend of focusing excessively on body language, gestures, voice tones, and other external signs is the result of an over-specialization process. As I explain, in the pursuit of scientific clarity, humans isolate phenomena from their context to study them more rigorously. But this necessary fragmentation for the sake of a study leads often to conceptual exaggerations when brought back to real life. Negotiators see negotiation everywhere. Lawyers see contracts everywhere. Business people see transactions everywhere. And in the same way, those who specialize in nonverbal communication end up seeing every human interaction through the narrow lens of body language and signs, forgetting that these signs were initially only accessories to a deeper verbal and cognitive structure. And this leads to the problem: reducing communication to a collection of visible behaviors risk emptying it from its intellectual and emotional substance. We start performing codes expected by the public, smiling, nodding, gesturing properly, just to conform to what is politically acceptable and digestible. But true communication is not conformity. It is the transmission of a unique internal construction, an invention organized with disposition and expressed with style. Therefore, my mission is not to deny the utility of nonverbal performance, but to restore the complete rhetorical process, to reconnect the performance to the invention, to refuse the superficiality of isolated signs, and to reassert the priority of thought, emotion, and values embedded into a clear, powerful verbal construction. Without this, there is no real communication, only a simulation of communication. The human body is a self-optimizing energy system. If the body judges that something is unnecessary, it simply won't do it. Building a body of knowledge alongside a body of expression is hard work. That's why myths like the communication pyramid became so popular. According to the widely cited formula, 55% of the effect of a speech results from body language, and 38% from voice tone, and only 7% from the content itself, by Maurer and Rainman in 2007. This mythical formula was eagerly adopted by communication researchers and coaches because they desperately needed a simple, practical formula that could be quickly applied. And for decades now, it proliferated everywhere. Handbooks, self-help manuals, seminars, PR trainings, sales courses, everywhere. Even though its authenticity was never really proven, its survival shows only one thing: a strong desire among experts for easy answers to difficult questions like, how do presentations affect audience? What's the most effective mode of presentation? Which part of communication plays the dominant role in persuasion? The 7-38-55 myth offers a comforting, simple formula that sounds scientific, but it's not, and that's exactly the problem. I used to ask myself the same questions many years ago, and the same questions kept coming back again and again in different life situations. How do I explain complex facts without losing my audience? How do I entertain with a powerful storytelling? How do I resume a very long, messy progress into a clear, constructive context? And many other forms of expressive needs. And I was sure that deep down that the problem wasn't about confidence, because not knowing, not mastering the subject is in itself a form of insecurity and naturally taints confidence. The real problem wasn't confidence. The real problem was the skill of expression and style. Whenever I struggled to express something complex, it wasn't because I lacked knowledge or expertise in the subject. It was because I lacked the right expressiveness, the right rhetorical tools to shape and deliver that knowledge. That's when I started moving these recurring situations into a structured rhetorical representation. And this process followed a series of questions like, what facts do I need to summarize? In what order should I present them to captivate attention? How should I perform to persuade and make my audience act instead of passively listen? These questions and the like became my motivation. They pushed me to learn ancient proven rhetorical strategies, and many times to invent even techniques for myself, for my personal needs. Techniques that truly helped me improve my expression in real-life situations, both as a native speaker and in other languages I use professionally. That's exactly why subscribing to this channel could be a great idea, because here I dive into these topics, these stories, to help sharpen expression and impact.